Hi everyone, I'm Rick Jors, and this is a very important live. And what I wish to do is share with you an account of events which, let's say, gives more detail of the significance of this monastery in Romania, and also my and Femke and Brother Stefan Cyprian's connection to this in Romania in the divine work that we do here. So, having said this, I was divinely instructed either to write it out, which would have been lengthy, perhaps would have been a chapter in a book, or do a live, as long as it's recorded and out there uh, in the domain, if you will, of this world and on the internet. So, with this, I'll just give a little bit of a preamble what led up to our recent visit and also our energetic enhancement to this important monastery. I will put in the comments after the link to the actual location of this monastery um, to make it easier. So, what I will say, I'll begin a little bit of the background. So, when Femke and I were first guided to come to Romania, of course, it was doing divine work. What I will say, I did not anticipate that we would have been here this long. Nevertheless, I always obey the divine instructions from Father, if you will. So, having said this, several months ago, Brother Stefan, um, which lives in Baku area, and I had spent time with him, us together, and what had become very obvious is that in the least, Stefan, in the least, he is an important key holder of divine information that had to be released and shared with I in divine timing in the overall scheme of this ascension. So, having said this, it's important, all of you, all of us have pieces of the puzzle, pieces of information, and when it's divine time, we come together and this information begins to unlock some more things to do in the ascension ladder as we go forward. So, Brother Stefan is a very important key holder of that. And months ago, he had given to me that we needed to go to this location of this monastery, what this video is about. However, at that time, I did not, let's say, did not get any divine instruction, so it was just given to me then. But what occurred about a month ago is that I received then divinely timed information um, of the point on my Google Earth where it popped up and we had to go. So at that time, I was given the divine information that we need to go to this area as part of our activation here. And also, what I need to say, this area is an important part of concentric energetic circles from our present location here as we expand it outward. Now, I'm smoking cigarettes, and I wish to say that this is organic tobacco, and that's very important. So, it's for it keeps with this physical vessel more of a opening and connection and clarity to source, to prime creator, or what have you. So it's a very good tool. Now, getting back on track here. Uh, so with this, to give the story, So then it was time. So on Google Earth about a month ago, I was given, all right, it's time to begin to energize and set the plans for the visit with it. So I contacted Brother Stefan. And one of the reasons for contacting Brother Stefan, what I was divinely given, is that it was three of us that needed to go. Brother Stefan and I, two masculine, and Femke, only one feminine. And, this is important. I always give credit where credit is due. And what I must say is Femke is a very powerful, important connection to, let's say, Mother Creator. And I've witnessed and can attest to many of her divine, noble creations, if you will, and effects upon that. But nevertheless, so getting back here, I wrote down just a couple notes, but I rather it's fresh. We were only there a few days ago on Friday, September the 6th, 2024. And today is September the 8th, I believe. Yes, Sunday, September the 8th, 2024. So while it's still fresh in this consciousness, I'm purveying it outward to you what occurred. So it was all set up that the three of us had to go. Over the last couple weeks, I tested with Brother Stefan if he could make it here to pick us up so we could go. However, divinely, it wasn't arranged then, every time I tested, until this Friday. And then everything aligned so that we could go and do it. But it was also divinely timed not to be done until this Friday. One of the reasons why on Thursday, Femke and I had to go to an important activation point that we had to activate, and it was at a small waterfall, and I put out some pictures of that activation as well. But it was all in part of making the waterfall, if you will. So this is supposed to be somewhat a circle. The waterfall on the outside of the circle. Then the monastery is on the outside of a bigger concentric circle. So what we do is also Femke and I are a hub of creator energy, and what needs to occur at times as we go through this ascension, and as with all of you, the more empowered you become, you have a wider ripple circle, if you will, of influence. And so with this, at times when Femke and I are divinely positioned in an area, we need to go to the outlying areas, activate areas, and then also at times expand it bigger when divinely necessary. Now, a lot of what we do, nothing is really written about it, and there are others that does the similar type work. However, they have not put much out publicly about it, and it's for them more or less a incognito thing. But nevertheless, each one does everything in their own way. So again, getting back on track with this, everything aligned. So Friday, we proceeded to the monastery, and I'll put the location later in the comment section. So as we arrived there, and we took everything is divinely timed. So we had to do a little bit of, let's say, energetic reconnaissance around the lake, but it had to be done because our energetic presence in areas also sets up the energetics of a much bigger area. So sometimes when we do energy work, even though we're going to one location here, we must go to some other locations as well to anchor in a little bit of energy and to clear whatever is required to be done. So we did that. So let's get right to, we arrived at the monastery, and so we parked the vehicle, of course, and outside of the monastery is a painting of Mother Mary, Our Lady, holding the baby Jesus. Before we enter the monastery, before we walk up, I'm looking for the words. I knew all these words, but it doesn't matter. I'll just describe it simply. So I pay tribute to Mother Mary and baby Jesus, if you will, and make a heart connection with this painting of Mother Mary, because it's much more than just a painting. The energetic imprint is also there. So I do that. Then there is a tree that grows here in Romania, a bush, flowering bush, and it translates in, I believe, to the palm of the mother, and its fragrance is very beautiful. It smells similar to lilac, which I love from Canada, the smell of that, and it's a very important divine tree. Palm of the mother, I believe, is what it translates to. So there was one of those trees there, and Brother Stefan, he gave us a petal, a piece, if you will, a little flower, one for Fem, one for I, and one for him, and we taste the sweetness and put it in our mouth, and nevertheless, it also was, we could say, more of a deeper ceremonial connection, perhaps, with the mother as well. And what I will say, this activation here, we knew before we went in that it's more of the mother creator activation, which is so important. And as I had indicated in the beginning, that Femke, if you will, was the main part of the enhancement of this activation, and Brother Stefan and I more or less holding the space. So, after we had the beautiful flower from the palm of Mother, if you will, and the nectar from that is so beautiful, and that's important and very symbolic as well for what I will say a little bit later on about the nectar that was coming out of our hands prior to our visit, which is all connected. So then we proceeded up a little walkway towards the monastery, and Femke was ahead, she was guided, and Stefan in the middle, and I behind. As we proceeded, my energetic and divine abilities are, let's say, a little bit different than Femke's, meaning that when I go into a very special energetic divine area, or even with the elementals and all of the other abstract supernatural realms, with I, there is the point of respect, gratification that I need to make with the present energy, and then there is a slow immersion and acceptance into the energy as I become one with the energy in these areas. And one of the important reasons for this is because of my energy and the effects that it has on reality. For example, if I am to rush into these sacred, divine, energetic places, it causes a chaos, if you will, because I am also part of this energy, in an immediate, quick introduction of my energy into it causes a flux, just to keep it simple. So there is the respect with it when I go in. So as we began to walk up the walkway, Femke is ahead because she is doing her divine work, and her ways that she does things is her divine ways, and mine was a little bit different. But as we began to go up the walkway, then I entered the energetic field that I didn't know was there, and I was divinely given. Femke was ahead. I said, Femke, you have to slow down here. We have to slow down because this is an important energetic area. So Femke slowed down, and Brother Stefan and I had shared with them that I need to move very slow and gracefully into the energy and be accepted here by it, because it's that important. So we did that. And so then we were in to the energetic field. We had acclimatized with it, become one with it. So then, we move around more freely, because that was the introduction and the acclimatization with the energetic divine field. So having said that, then there is a coach outside, or a little porch, I think, with a place to sit on. Femke was guided to go there and sit down. And while she was there, Stefan and I went and did other things. But at this point, when Femke went to the coach, I'll share what occurred with her, or the outside area, that she was guided to close her eyes, open up to the energy there, and as she shared later, as she did that, she became a pillar, but her description was a pillar of pure light, that she was part of it. And then with her eyes closed and her third eye became a cross, but also the connection of the diamond shape, the lines that connect the cross as well, which is part of our Merkaba, our energetic structure, and it is also very important, the kite structure on the cross, if you will, but I won't go into much about that. But Femke had also, if you will, by being the upright pillar, she had also had become the cross. Now this is important because you may see, I think, reference of it in the video that is in the link, or that is in the description of this, and you'll see how you can connect these dots, if you will. So, we still rolling good here? I believe so. Looks like things are going well. Yeah. So, with that, I did not know, Stefan didn't know what Femke had experienced there till after, because Femke has her experiences, and she shares later, what we need to know. So she had made this very important connection, if you will, and during this connection, she had the pillar of white, pure light come down and had connected with her, so in the physical, and also, let's say, added a stronger connection in the lease to the monastery and the energetics of it all that we were working with. So while Femke was doing that, Stefan and I proceeded to go into the monastery. I think Stefan went into the monastery first. but I proceeded to where the monk that had built the monastery, his grave, if you will, is right in front. And he was born in 1977 and died in March, or ascended in March of 2017. So at the age of 40, almost 41 years old. Now, without giving the reasons why, these numbers also are a divine stamp, if you will, that signifies further the importance of this monastery, this area. And what I will say, this monastery was only built, I believe, in 2002, this hermitage. So it's a new area. And and again, the energetics of the area, it's a very important area. I confirm and attest it's a very special area. And without any ego, but with divine truth, it is now much more special and activated and enhanced than it was prior. But everything was divinely set up um, before time for Femke, I, and Stefan to visit the location when it was divinely timed as well. So, as Stefan was inside the monastery, I believe, doing whatever he does as well energetically, while Femke was doing what she was doing. So I move slowly, and I need to say, I like to use the word gracefully because I'm moving slowly, analyzing everything and feeling it and seeing divinely what I'm instructed to do. So as I go towards the entrance to enter the monastery, but what I will say out front, there is a painting of one of the saints, if you will, on the side of the monastery, a very big one. Um, and I look at this, and the name of this saint is Saint Nectarios. Now, Nectarios simply means of nectar, which is very important. And one of the reasons why it is important, out of the palms of my hands for the last several years or more, there are times when the nectar secretion comes out of the folds. And the nectar, if one didn't know better, they might just think it was sweat, but it's not, because when you move your hand together, it's a very sticky substance, and it is nectar, and it will have a slight aroma um, to ones that can smell it as well, and to others it would have no aroma. But it is a nectar that is secreted, and it's mostly secreted out of the palms. And this is the nectar of the gods, if you will, and it is a divine nectar. So it's very important. So I was very grateful to see the painting of Saint Nectarius, the symbol of uh, of the nectar. And also with this, I had asked Brother Stefan after uh, we had visited the monastery, and he said yes, he had also, at least I think over the last few weeks, have been noticing the sticky substance coming out of his palms, or for a while. And also Femke, about 2 weeks ago, had mentioned that hers had begun to secrete the divine nectar. And again, I'll go back quickly, connect the dots of the palm of mother plant that has the beautiful flowers, the palm of mother that has the beautiful nectar flowers that we had tasted each, and again the nectar coming from the palm, and seeing Saint Nectarius as being the one right outside that you meet pretty much first when you go into the monastery. So Then, as I proceeded to go into the door of the monastery, as I walk in the first open door to go into the monastery, what is greeting me is two saints painted on the end of a small hallway, and I forget their names, but you can see it in pictures or what have you. But what is significant with the saint that is on the right as I go in is a lion painted down at the side of his legs, if you will, the bottom of his legs. Now, as we know, the lion is so important in many ways. Not only the Lion of Judah, the tribe of Judah, the lion, Jesus, the lion, but also the Lyran galactic connection as well, which is, again, not to put more content in there, but to just identify at least the symbolism that is with this, which is so important. And what I need to say, to my knowledge, I haven't been in a lot, but I've been in a few churches and monasteries. But I believe this is the first time I saw the lion depicted beside a saint. And let me say, I was very grateful to see that, and another beautiful, important indicator. So, and of course, I took a picture of that, and I'll put some more pictures out on my Facebook timeline here of our visit to the monastery, because there are some more important pictures. I put out a few posts with individual, excuse me, with some individual pictures with a short missive of what was occurring, but I will put out more. Uh, so with this, I proceeded to go inside the monastery. Very beautiful. And so what I was to do in there was to take some pictures so that, I'd have them for sharing information later in posts. Uh, but also inside the monastery, it had the Assumption of Mary when Mary ascended, had that depicted in a very beautiful painting on the top wall ceiling, which is very significant because, again, this is a hermitage monastery that also recognizes Mary, the mother, if you will, the mother of God. Some believes, as Mother Mary was the mother of Jesus, and many believes that Jesus was also God incarnated in a humanoid vessel upon the planet. But it's all fine and it's all good with whatever ones believe, and most important is the belief that God is very real, Jesus very real, Mother Mary, and all of the other divine prophets in many of the beliefs and faiths. So as I go in the church, as just when I saw the lion, and as Brother Stefan is also there, as I recall, and as we got to the doorway to go into the monastery, the open part of it, there was a clock, a pendulum clock on the wall, and it began to change its rhythm, but then it also began to be louder. And I did not recall when I was in the first hallway part of the monastery hearing this loud pendulum clock ticking back and forth. But I had asked Stefan, and I think he said he had heard it, but it had increased in sound, and also its movement had changed as we entered. So I just want to share that. And as we went into the monastery, there was a monk, a brother, if you will. We did not have any communication with him, but he was inside and silent. doing whatever he was guided to do while we were there. I took a picture of Jesus, if you will, uh, of a portrait, and with that, what I noticed later was the golden light coming into the side of it. And when I compared that picture to other pictures I took inside of the monastery, there really was not that light that was on it, so it was interesting. Also, partly because of where they had it placed, with part of a more or less a skylight, if you will, that it also allowed for the picture to have a little bit of light at least. But also, it's not that it was by chance. Everything was placed where it divinely needed to be, and when I took the photo, the light showed up. So it's not about how it occurred, if someone did it. It's because the abstract force of God guided someone to do that. So everything is indeed preordained divinely, and there is much more behind one's actions. Even at times, if they don't know what they're doing, in retrospect, they'll say, "Oh, wow, that was important that I did that," if you will. So I took some photos, and I was noticing the Mother Mary icon. What is in it's how will I say, embroidered now with gold and silver. But I noticed how the faces of Mother Mary and Jesus were darkened, a darker complexion in this. And I didn't know at the time the reasoning why, but later I had found out, because then when I come back, I was divinely required to do some more research into this very special monastery. And as I did, the information is contained in the link in the description again, with a video. But what had occurred, a painting of the Mother Mary, if you will, had she was previously in a church that had burnt down years ago, but someone had saved the portrait of a painting, and it was found outside by a man, and apparently he had taken it and kept it in his attic for many years. So the painting of Mother Mary had survived the fire, and then it later, I believe, was donated to the monastery here. But this is much more than a painting, this icon, because as you'll see, what I know and ratify, or what I readily see, and even though it's perhaps not been venerated by the Orthodox or Catholic Church, it is more than one Eucharistic miracles that has occurred, and especially in this case from the icon, the Mother Mary, tears had come from her eyes on about 3 or 4 different occasions in the past that you'll see in the information in the video. And also, more importantly, this icon has been taken several times or more in places when there was drought in Romania, in certain places, to bring rain. And as you'll see in that information, more or less instantly, it was a sunny day, and as soon as that icon is taken to an area, a drought area, that it began to thunder and lightning, so there is no refuting the divine energetic connection to the Mother with this portrait, and also all of those that believe, which also creates the miracles. And with this, what Jesus has said, where 2 or more gather in the name of Jesus, in the name of God, in the name of Mary, then the miracles began to unfold. And this is very true and indicative. In the more that believes, the more miraculous things become. And You could also say, you know, with apparitions and the belief of Mother Mary, which are very real, are also produced and connected with it. So to keep this as short with that, so I took some more photos, and Brother Stefan, he was guided to take his crystal, an amethyst crystal, which is divinely endowed, bestowed with the divine energetics of his work. And what he had showed me when I was getting ready to leave out in the hallway, he said, "Rick, look at my crystal." And we were in a dim part of the hallway with no direct sunlight nor lights from inside of the monastery, and to my knowledge no lights were on inside. But with this crystal we could see it being activated with the bright uh, light, golden and white light throughout it, showing that yes, it was activated because it was not a reflection or a refraction of light, that it was the actual crystal itself had been uh, actively energized to whatever degree. So I took a short video of it, but you cannot readily see it. The video was really too short. You can just see like what looks like light shining on it. And as any of you that does a lot of this work, you need a really good camera, if you will, to capture the things and really do the justice of what occurs in the moment there. A lot of times with the photos, things are lost and they don't even pick them up. Like, for example, and sometimes they cannot, the phone camera cannot pick these things up because they are multi-dimensional, and the phone just cannot register with them. And as an example, when we had completed, Femke and I, and of course others that assist with this divine work, when the Mother Ark Hub was activated in Rematea Coltesti, Alba Luba County, Romania, last year, shortly after that activation, which was done between 23rd of September, it perhaps might have been 27th or the 28th of September last year, when Femke and I remained in the campground, and that night we were alone, and it was on the full moon. But what had occurred, and I put out the post about this, but what had occurred, Mother Mary apparition, so you take the moon right here, so the moon was this big, but the Mother Mary apparition of her blue veil and her shoulders, and her face was there with the moon right on her forehead. And when Femke and I, we went to put our cameras up, you know, to get a picture of this important apparition, no, the cameras would not pick any of this up. And you know, she was very huge, but it was also our confirmation, Femke and I, that the Mother Ark Hub was activated. The apparitions of God also began, so very important. But getting back with this, so also when I went outside, I went out before Brother Stefan, and I was divinely called to anchor in some more of the divine energy. And immediately when I closed my eyes to prepare to do it, the Father energy blue was already there. And with that, so I said, good, I'll just anchor it in a little bit tighter to this area. And as I did my anchoring with my eyes closed, then the next light I saw was the next color with the second anchoring was the violet flame, to anchor that in and secure it. And the last one was to pink, to seal it with the love. And it was very good. I was very that activation, when I anchor in and what I do with the energy, sometimes I need to put a lot of effort into it to get energy anchored in some areas. But to my pleasant surprise, this was the easiest one yet in that area, because it was already um, divinely enhanced as well, because of the monks there and all that uh, contribute their energy there daily, and because of their good genuine intent, the area is already elevated. So I just more or less add my energy to it as well. And uh, and then I did this in front of the Saint Nectaris painting that I said first that I'd seen before I went in the monastery. And what I come to see later when I got back home here, that photo of Saint Nectarius has the blue energy on the top of it, and you can see it, the father energy as well. So we had the mother and father energy very prevalent in that area, very accessible. It's very special. We did not have any interaction, conversation with a few of the monks in that area, uh, or at the monastery. So there was no real communication. We were there to do what we had to do, and then we left. Now, getting back to when Femke went in the monastery, um, that was just prior to I and um, Brother Stefan coming out, but then Femke had to go in. And when Femke went in, uh, one of her experiences is that she began to cry. The tears began just come. Femke said she felt no emotion, but her eyes just began the tears to run out of them without knowing fully why. But then in retrospect, after when you look in the video about the Mother Mary icon crying, if you will, then you can see why. This is because Femke's connection to Mother as well is producing this important confirmation as well, and it come through Femke, which was very beautiful too. Um, so you can connect more dots in watching the information in the video. I believe it may have closed captions. If it doesn't, what I had asked is for uh, dear sister Beatrice, which is Romanian. She's now living in Canada and is part of GPMS. She had did a summary in English for me so I could read what it was, and that was just after we had did the ceremony. So you can also may be able to get closed captions, or if I can get the file in a link, I can also put that here so ones can read it. Um, what I also need to say and need to add is there's in Romania there's another important area which we call the Love Pyramid, and it's down northwest of Bazou, up close into another place that is known as Syrian or Syria. Syrian has there's an indication in the name place there of Syrian. Now, why this is important, because down in that area, a monk was in the past, sometime in antiquity, was instructed uh, to dig down while on the mountain with another monk or friend, and he was told to dig down by Mother Mary, and when he did, he found a Mother Mary icon, which fully accredited what he was given. But I need to link this to this monastery because of the Mother Mary icon and representation, because it is also linked. And anything in this time with Mother Mary and, of course, the Father and Jesus, it's so important, and it is what I need to say is that this time that was spoken of millennium ago, we are now in it. It's happening. And with this, the old Bible with many guidelines to get us to this now. But what has really happened is that we're at the ending of that Bible. And since 2012, we have been, if you wish to look at it this way, writing a new Bible. So we are currently writing it as we go along. And with this, things need to change to reflect the new harmonious equal reality as well. And having said that, all of the genuine religions and faiths, they also have to evolve to reflect the full harmonious and heaven on earth world. A beautiful bird over there. That's a new one. We hear many birds here, and each day it seems like a new bird, a new sound, a new song will come. Nevertheless, so I believe I covered most of our experience there. So this monastery, it's at the lake uh, where you'll find it. It's dedicated to Saint Ephram, the Syrian. Very important, and of course, any that are interested, you can delve a little bit more in and begin to see other connecting artifacts and symbology to this, which substantiates even more the importance of this actual monastery. Now, what I will also say, this monastery is built on a very important energetic place, and like all monasteries, to some degree, they are founded by the sensitive monks that can actually feel geographically the energetically enhanced areas, like I as well, and Femka, many of you can feel the energy. And also, you can read it to know if it's a good, pure energy or if it's a negative energy that needs to be reconciled. But for the monks, they are able to feel, if you will, the important areas where to build these monasteries and places, I will say, of a communion with Mother and Father Prime Creator. So it is very real. It is very powerful. And as a result of this, this monastery is very special. I confirm that. And also, again, without ego, because of our recent visit there in connection into that area, it now is enhanced even more. And as we continue forward, we'll observe without speculating, and it's quite possible there will be some more Eucharistic miracles occur that are associated with that area, or even the monastery, or even some of the genuine brothers in God um, that operate it. So to keep it very simple, well, another crystal. Yeah, I have a big crystal that's coming out of the side of my ankle, but it's not fully formed yet. But yesterday I had taken several off of different areas. As they come out of the body, they begin to lot on my back. What they'll do is they'll form into the crystals as we go into this light crystalline based vessels that is very important, because we emit the higher frequency and vibration. So the more enhanced these physical vessels come, they begin to emit the higher vibrations for reality, which lifts all boats, to keep it simple. So with that, thank you so much, and I got this out, and There may be some things I forgot, but I believe I covered the most important points while it was still fresh in the memory. And I will, excuse me, I will put out some more photos of the beautiful monastery, of its interior, and its depictions. Oh, one other thing I need to add is also the Saint Mercury is also depicted in there, uh, which is significant when anyone looks at Romania, and I believe in 1989 it began on the Baltic Sea coast. South of Constantia, there were several resort towns that were began to be constructed there, and they were labeled, given the names August 23rd, Neptune, Jupiter, Saturn, Venus, May 1st. But also, when you look at these, there was also an important alignment that occurred on August 28th that included at least some of those celestial bodies, planets. But there is a deeper divine meaning with that again, and time after time, you will find that Romania is so important in this now, in the Ascension, and as we go forward, and that there is so much contained within not only the known history that was secured by the Thracian, Dacian, Romanian peoples, but also in the energy here. So it is very important, very divine. And of course, I need to just add on August 28th as well, Divine Sister Heather and traveling with her Divine Comrade Brother Michael. Both of them had went to the top of the Holy Mountain. I'm not sure if I pronounce it correctly. Ceflo or Cheklo by Lake Bacaz, and they had met with Femke and I here, and there was the energetic exchange to take the new mother codes up to the top of the Holy Mountain and release those energetically there as well. And once they were completed, about 10 minutes later, they had asked for confirmation. 10 minutes later, they saw somewhat a rainbow confirming that as they proceeded down. So what I wish to say, all of this that we do is very real. And I'm saying this for the benefit of ones that are perhaps just awakening or being introduced, that are watching this. Yes, it's all very real. It's very important, and it's very divine. And actually, we are in the most auspicious, glorious times right now. So whatever you're doing, keep strong in your trust, in your belief, connected to Mother, Father, God, and know that the overall ascension for the planet should be done very soon. We should have it completed. Father had given me a month or a couple months ago, it's very possible by November 15th of this linear year, 2024, that we'll have the planet ascended to a place of civility. So currently now, with all of the suffering and misery, that is the savage world, the enslaved world. So it's looking like we're only very possibly about 2 months away from that full liberation of the human race, of humanity, all of those that believe in God, to enter at least a heaven on earth scenario. And of course that involves all making the choice, being aligned with that belief and buying their ticket, if you will, to the safe haven. And with this, everyone everyone that you may see out there, it's important to know that not everyone is divine souls, that not all of them are going forward. And many of you are aware of how cloning is very real and so many other things, and this is part of the reasoning why everyone that you see out there that you may think is human, they're not. Even though they have a humanoid vessel, they're not. And a lot of these do not go forward, that do not have the spark of God in them. But having said this, some relative approximate numbers is that about 6 billion, 5 to 6 billion are human souls upon earth, and they go forward into this new reality as the darkness, the remnants of darkness, the minions, the men made by men, because they're not made by God. These sort of things do not go forward. So that's why you have a separation of the wheat from the chaff, if you will. And of course, we are in the great time of the shepherds, and if you will, symbolically getting all of the sheep and getting all of the herd together as we go to the homelands to graze, and everything is divinely set up for this. Nothing stops it. It is divinely guaranteed. It is the promise of God being delivered, hence the deliverance. It is the ark of the covenant. It is the promise by God, and it's why you see so many rainbows in this time as well. And we're getting it done. So, with that, love, light, and gratitude, and peace, and have a beautiful day. Thank you. Bye now. There we go.